Hey guys, sup, Ray here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! And with Primal Origins just, well, days away, you're probably asking yourself, what are the best cards in the entire set? Well, Ryu's just nuts enough to basically go over every single card that is decent or good or just great in the set. Pardon me. So grab your popcorn, grab your drink, pause the video, then come back to it because this is going to be a long one. And to start it, we're going to do Artifact Ignitation, which was known as Artifact Movement. Now, this can be used outside of artifacts as another MST. And it allows you to take an artifact from your deck and stick it into your spell and trap zone. And yes, Dev Pro actually fixed that problem where you can't you need a free space for Ignitation second effect. That's not the case. You can just do it because Ignitation will leave the field and then you have it there. But anyway, if your opponent MSCs it face down, then they don't have a battle phase. So this card's great. If you pull it, it's going to be worth quite a little bit of money. And if you're not planning on using it, sell it. Enough said. Don't even wait on it. Okay, moving on. We have Sylvan Charity, because we all know how broke Sylvans are. And this, well, I don't know if they're going to remain broken TCG-wise, but this is their draw power, and this is their graceful charity in a way where they stack stuff to the top of the deck, and they know what they're getting next, and they think ahead, and they're like, look at us! This card's amazing for them. Definitely when it's going to be up there in prices, too. A lot of the ultra rares are great from this set. This is Diamond Core of the Quokimiru, and basically, no one better correct me. Just point that out. You correct me, or you're pretty much gonna get auto banned. Enough said. Add one Kokimiru card from your deck to your hand, except Diamond Core, which is great because, hello, like Rhoda, great. You need that for Kokimirus. And you can also banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, Kokimiru monsters you control cannot be destroyed. That's great. So not only does it carry the flexibility to protect the Kokimirus or, give you search power, but it also says, oh, it can't be destroyed. No dark hole, no freaking battle destruction. You kiss my buttocks. Alright, Scrap Factory, this one was going to be on the list. All scrap monsters gain 200 attack and defense. Whenever face-up scrap monster you control. When a face-up scrap monster is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon one scrap monster from your deck. You can only use the effect of Scrap Factory once per turn. And yes, it is true to once per turn, meaning that it's only one factory per turn. Meaning you can't play like how we used to do with Dragon's Ravine and basically get multiple, mills off like, hey, look at me go, or with Dark Worlds. It's the one and only one per the entire turn. It's simple as that. We got an airplane going over in case you hear that in the background. I apologize. I can't. That's out of my control. But Scrap Factory here, continuing at the airplane left. I decided just to, stop filming there. Scrap Factory here basically says, hey, Scraps, you need that consistency, you need that speed, here you go. And, while they're not going to have everything out of Primal Origins, and they're going to need, the supply unit from that comes out July 11th, which is 2 days before the ban list, and we should know the ban list by then, they're looking to be a top contender for the next format. So pretty much, if you can get Scrap Factory cheap, it's kind of one of those cards you hang on to if you're building scraps. Here's Jackpot 7 Alternate Win Condition. If you don't know about it, I did a while back. Basically, there's multiple ways of playing Jackpot 7, and I still like mine a lot because, player interaction is a thing, and you play creature swap, and then you say attack use the scapegoat to attack into the Dark Scorpion, and the Dark Scorpion mills this from your deck, and you win the game. I mean, this card is just silly. No rare. It should be common, short print common, probably. We don't know the English rarity. It's a great card though. So if you pull it, there's a whole deck based around it that you could play if you felt like being a troll. Just saying. This is one of my favorites. Is Forbidden Scripture, and during a damage calculation, if a monster you control battles an opponent's monster until the end of the damage step, the effects of all other cards currently on the field are negated. Also, the damage calculation performs using the original attack and defense of the battling monsters. No Lance, no Kalutes, no of that. Basically, someone's gonna say, but I play Lance on my monster. Yeah, I play this on mine, and then the attacks go back to being normal, I guess. Or no, I play it on yours, and because you play Lance on mine, whatever. But you get the point. It's like no Kalutes, no Boojin. I want to say Crow, but it's like Crane. No Boojin Crane. There we go. No Boojin Crane. This most likely is gonna be super rare to follow suit with Forbidden Lance and everything like that. That's the whole thing, and then maybe we'll see a reprint sooner or later. But honestly, this is a great card, so if you get it, keep that in mind. Makes a good side option if you have problems against Boojins or things like that. It just says, hey, you're not getting an attack boost. There's other uses for it, but we'll go. Alright, now we have Artifact Sanctum, which was Artifact Theospear, but this is the broke trap card for artifacts. It basically gets them a free special summon that should be limited. Even though it's a once per turn effect, use special one artifact monster from your deck. You can only activate one artifact Sanctum. Or I want to say Sanctuary, but it's just Sanctum. There's no R there. It makes me annoyed. I'm sorry, it just does. You cannot conduct your battle phase. The turn you activate this card. If this card is in owner's possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target one card on the field and destroy that target. Way too much flexibility, and even if you're not playing artifacts, it's something that you will be happy to pull out of the box. Again, it's going to be worth money. And now we have Ghostrick Knight. Pretty easy trade bait if... excuse me. My throat is just itchy. Freaking allergies. Okay, easy trade bait if you know someone who plays Ghostricks, kind of like myself. While a Ghostrick monster is face up on the field, your opponent cannot flip summon monsters. Okay, I don't really care. The point. Shadows. You just gotta watch out for the fusion now. When this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, by an opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, your opponent cannot declare an attack this turn. So, pretty much, when it's destroyed, it can't be destroyed. And when you flip their monsters face down with Witch, you get a Witch Lock, which is also now known as the Bitch Lock. You see how that plays on words? Your opponent cannot flip summon monsters. They're going to stay down. So that means threats are gone. If it's destroyed, they don't get the attack. They have to wait. I'm telling you, you could just play Ghostrick Exodia. I'm going to so do it. Jokingly. And then we have the Monarchs Erupt. I thought this was pretty interesting, hence why I wanted to talk about it. Activate this card only if you control no extra deck. Like if you have no cards in your extra deck and you control a tribute summon monster, negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field except tribute summon monsters. During your end phase, if you control no tribute monsters, send this card to the graveyard. It is continuous. Now, I feel like this is good for the Ghostrick Monarchs because there's something else on here. The Majestic Sphene, I think it is, something like that. Basically has no, the no effects thing too. This is a good option to basically go against artifacts for Monarchs who side against them if they're running the Ghostrick engine. Just want to point that out. But it's a thing. Evo Singularity. This is a common in Primal Origins. And this is one hell of a common. You target one Evil Light and one Evil Sore, because I'm very sore, monster in your graveyard. Special one Evil Zor monster from your extra deck if you do attach those targets to it as Exceed material. So basically this is free Logia in trap form, free Dulka in trap form, and free level 6, rank 6 dinosaur in, trap mode. It basically is a double call and a haunt that allows you free Exceed. This gives Evo something to play around with. I feel like they're still a good rogue deck, but they're not there yet. They're very, very, very underdeveloped. They need more, a little more to push them. But this is the first step in the right direction. No question about it. This is the first step. And if you ever played the evil dinosaurs, the evil reptiles, because their Exceeds are all freaking dinosaurs, I think. I don't know. I lost track. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What the point is, this card's amazing for that deck. And this was actually an interesting card. I'm like, why did I choose this? Oh, and the band played on. Because their lead singer fell off the stage, and the band was just like, we gotta improvise. I'm sorry, it's just that's ad cheaping like a real life thing. But neither player can special summon monsters with the same level as the monster they control. So if artifacts activate that Thero Spear, you flip this up and you're like, middle finger, and you just hope that they don't have the MST, the movement, the Wild Cyclone, any of that back row hate. I mean, this is a funny side deck card for decks that are not artifacts. Neither player can special summon monsters with the same rank as the monster they control. So neither player can special summon monsters the same level or the same rank. That's okay. I just play fusions and I'm good at the game. Basically, what this basically does is it says, hey, you don't get to play 2 level 4 monsters to make that exceed. So I like it. It's interesting, but I had to just make mention of it. It's one of those like intriguing cards that maybe right now it won't do none. So my advice is, if that sounds interesting to you at all, just hold on to it. So hence why I just put it here. Here we go. Try and guess. Kind of a little funny name there, and it has one of my favorite monsters ever. Is Gaia. Declare one kind of extra deck monster, fusion, sync, or exceed. Reveal both players' extra decks, and the player who has more monsters of the declare kind in their extra deck gains 3,000 life points. Ryu, why would we care about this? Nurse burn, nurse burn, nurse burn, nurse burn, nurse burn. That's it. If you're not playing nurse burn, don't worry about it. But this card's amazing for nurse burn. Basically, it just gives them another way to win the game faster. I mean, if you wanted it to be silly and play this outside nurse burn and just play a extra deck of fusions, like Shaddolls will have like 6 fusions, just help you to run to the mirror match, and you go, ooh, I'm getting 3,000. But then again, some of you are going, why do I care about getting 3,000? Because you could play that soul charge for days. Not a bad option. It's a great card. Alright, some of you may not agree with me on this one. Noble Knight Brothers, because they're brothers in arms. I actually really like this card, especially in testing. I don't know if I'm going to have the Noble Knight deck that I've been working on prior to it. I guess it's like current right now for Dev Pro, but not for Primal Origins, so that's being reworked. But anyway, this card can only attack while you control 3 face-up Noble Knight monsters, and no other monsters. When this card is normal summon, you can special up to 2 Noble Knight monsters from your hand. See where it's getting good? But cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Noble Knight monsters. That's fine. Once per turn, you can target 3 Noble Knight or Noble Arm cards in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 in the deck, and draw 1. So it has a deck SOM effect. It's kind of like a Tin Goldfish, and it allows you to make for giant pushes. Oh, and did I mention that beefy freaking 2400 defense? That is ridiculous. If you get this as your secret rare, I would say I kind of feel bad for you if you're not playing Noble Knights. But then again, you could just find a player who plays Noble Knights and say, I know you want this because it's pretty good. I don't really think Noble Knights are not going to play it. It's kind of hard to say where Noble Knights will be going with all the new support. But regardless, this is a great card in general. When we're talking about single card, it's a great card. Had another plane like flying by, and I was like, I called up the airport to stop throwing planes by me. We weren't lagging. That was just me switching over because I wanted to talk about Princess Sprout because I kind of butchered the effect because it was like 4 in the morning when I did the news video. You can only activate each of the Sylvan Princess Sprout. Wait, you can only activate. You can only activate each effect of Sylvan Princess Sprout. God, it's a tongue twister. Once per turn. You contribute this card and look at the top card of your deck, send it to the graveyard, and then place 1 Sprout monster in your graveyard to the top of the deck. The other effect is if this card is basically revealed, Curry Bandit, word, because I can't really say it, from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can declare 1 level from 1 to 8, special this card, and then this card in your special this card from your graveyard, and if you do, it becomes that level. So it has a copy plan effect, and that's amazing for the deck. So that way they're not really forced to use Copy Plant, but you know why I would still want to use Copy Plant? I'm not saying I wouldn't want to use this. Trust me, I still would. This helps for overextending, I won't lie. That's how I see it in my book. I haven't fully tested it yet, so I can't really talk too much about that first effect, but second effect-wise I can. Copy Plant is still a tuner. level 7 plus level 1 copy plant equals level 8 synchro, and against artifacts, that's a good thing because you just summoned Stardust. I'm not calling this bad, I'm just saying that copy plant's still viable. This has to be one of the most interesting things, not only because the artwork looks so badass, that's just true, it looks badass, we cannot deny that, but it has an interesting effect, and it's for vampires. Vampire Vamp. Once per turn, when this card or vampire monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls whose attack is higher than this card's attack. Or higher than this card's. Equip it to this card. So basically it carries almost like a plasma effect. This card gains attack equal to the combined original attack of the monsters equipped to it by this effect. When this card is sent to the graveyard, while equipped with a card by this effect, special this card from your graveyard. I'll let you make your own decisions on it, but I like it a lot, and it being 7 kind of sucks though, because you have to give up 2 monsters for it, but that's okay. I mean, you can special it with Mizuki, and that's perfectly fine too. I do like this as a card, especially even though it has weak stats, it's going to basically be sucking up a lot of shit. Oh, that's a nice Stardust you have. It gains 2,500. Now I have a 4,500 level 7 monster. I like this card a lot. I still have to rebuild vampires to see exactly how well it tests. This one goes out to Hoka TV, aka Greg, because I know how much he likes GBs. I just had to say that. Alright, this is Glider Beast Nerokiss. That's how I'm going to say it. Oh, I'm a boss. Put my arms like he does. It requires 3 Glider Beast monsters. It doesn't care which ones. He's got 2,800. He's not as big as Herc. That's okay. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. I like how they put that there. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Just throw that son of a bitch in defense mode. Laugh when they try to 101. I'm sorry, but it's true. If this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of damage step. It's so good. At the end of battle phase, if this card was attacked or was attacked, you shuffle this card into your extra deck and special 2 GBs. Now some of you are going, why only 2 GBs? It must have 3. No, it really is just 2. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. And some of you are going, huh? Because you know why it's just perfectly fine? He can't be, excuse me. Stomach disease. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. It's perfectly fine because it carries an Armidades effect. If you don't like the way I say Armidades, just deal with it. Because as I said in the beginning of the video, if you try correcting me, they will be bans. So anyway, it carries an Armidades effect. And it can't be destroyed by battle, so I could just throw it in defense mode. And it basically kind of deals with a little weakness that GB's always had is, I gotta attack to win, I gotta attack to win, I gotta attack to win. This kind of lets you sit back and go, so, how's it working out for you? How's the wife and kids? And you throw the war chariot face down, and you just sit there when they try to extinctionite you, and you're like, guess what? I war chariot. And I sit there because I'm a freaking Hulk. And you know what you do? You sit there with this guy in defense mode. I'm not saying GBs are going to be tier 1. They're going to be far from tier 1, but they got some great freaking moves now. You sit there with this guy in defense mode, and you go, I'm just going to snore, recoup my hands, and then just OTK you by blowing stuff up with Geyseris, attacking directly, swapping out to my other GBs, and just giving you 2 thumbs up because I'm a boss. I also like how he basically stuns the field and says you cannot do anything else. We're going to take a timeout with your face downs. I'm going to attack. You're not going to get that Lind effect. You're not going to be able to do anything. You're just going to take it. I like that a lot. It should be ran at 2 in all GB decks without question. That's just how I feel about it right now. I do think there's going to be a lot of hype over GBs, but remember, there's a lot more decks that are a hell of a lot more competitive than GBs. Before we start going, GBs tier 1, GBs tier 1. I love GBs, but they're not going to be tier 1. This is one that's going to drop in price, like after release. But regardless, it is a great card for the archetype. Just say that much. Noble Knights of the Round Table. They welcome you. They want you to have a field card. During your end phase, you can activate this effect up to the effect. You can activate each one of these effects up to once per turn. This is like freaking Rainbow Runes all over again. Depending on the total number, I'm saying noble. What? Total number of Noble Knight cards with different names in your graveyard or you control. It says Noble Knight cards. Supposedly it counts as Noble Arms too, but I don't think it does. But whatever. It's still not bad. 3 or more, send 1 Noble Knight card from your deck to your graveyard. No one's like clapping. No one really likes that. 6 or more, special 1 Noble Knight monster from your hand, and then you can equip 1 Noble Arms equipped spell card from your hand to the monster. 9 or more, god freaking 6, can you imagine having 9? Target 1 Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand, and 12 is you draw a card. I do believe it counts for the, this also counts as a Noble Knight card. I think they do count the Noble Arms card, but getting 12 to draw one, that's just ridiculously high. But, as crazy as I'm about to sound, what this opens the door for is Noble Knight Malefics, where you can throw in Malefics and flip up a skill drain and control the game until you can do stuff. Just saying, that's an option. It's an okay card, though. I mean, it's kind of hard to say what it will do. And, look, Konami named something after me, but it's always got to have a dead guy on it, right? That's a little... My last name is Avalon, that's why I can make this joke. Okay, after the plane comes back. Okay, the plane has left. Thank you, Konami, number 1, for naming something after me. Number 2, this card's not that good. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because A, I didn't cover a news video, and B, I didn't cover a news video. Now, my last name is actually Avalon, so I'm going to be a little bit heavy on this one. In the kingdom of the Avalon, hell has fallen upon Earth because the king is dead and now the whole field gets wiped. If you don't understand that part, you have to have 5 Noble Knight monsters in your graveyard. 1 has to be a Trollgrius. I cannot pronunciate that because of my stomach. And 1 Lander... I see... Okay, you can see it right there. It's a Trollgrius and Land's Island. I cannot pronounce it to the love of God. But pretty much... Let's just pull these open real quick so we know what we're talking about here. It is going to be this guy and this guy. Basically, you need the Story of the King. And when you have the Story of the King in the graveyard with 3 other Noble Knight cards, you can banish those targets. And if you do, you destroy everything on the field. I don't really care for this card because it kind of like says, hey, Noble Brothers, screw you! Screw you, Noble Knight Brothers! Screw you! It's like... If you were going to name something Avalon, which maybe it's just, you know, my heritage. In Japanese, it does mean world tree. No, sorry, like the tree of life kind of thing. So it kind of fits the whole Avalon thing. Maybe that wasn't what they were going for. I don't really know. All I'd say is this card's kind of poop. If you do get it, maybe you can find use for it. But I don't think there's enough good Noble Knight monsters to really make use of it. And then why come out with Noble Brothers? So that's already said and done now because I didn't mention it in the news video. I didn't do the news video because I was filming this. Number 42, Galaxy Tomahawk. This card's going to be amazing. It's a common, and you should get it if you can play anything rank 7. 3,000 defense, super bulk. You know about that bulk. That 0 attack is too good, and it can be playing Dragon Rulers. I face palmed in case you didn't hear it. You can detach 2 Exceed materials from this card, special as many Battle Eagle tokens. Machine type, win level 6, 2,000 attack as possible. Destroy them at the end of this turn. Also, your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of the turn. Now you're going, Ryu, why is that good? I summon Plague Spreader, I get 3 freaking tokens, you do the rest. I go double BLZ or BLZ plus Scrap Dragon, get rid of the last token and win the game. It's retarded. Not in a bad way, but still. If I don't do that, well, 3,000 defense, and I'm pretty sure I could have some kind of like, I don't know, tuner in the grave or something that I can use. We figure it out. Emergency Teleport plus this is really silly because basically just go into this and then Karakuri spam for game, and then it just pure Karakuri love this card. I'm actually glad they made it a common, not sound the wrong way. It was a V jump, so it took a while to get here. I think about a year or two. It took a year or two to get here, which is nuts. I wish the V jump stuff would come faster. Anyway, the card's amazing. For a common, it's amazing. And it's a cheap, it's going to be super cheap way to get your Dragon Ruler, stuff like Big Eye and whatnot. If you're not playing Dragon Rulers, then it's a great option for everything else, like the Mecham Phantom Beasts. The deck that no one remembers anymore. It's not your perfect alternative to Dragosack, but it is still pretty good. So, moving on. Artifact Scythe, sneak peek card. You love it, you hate it, doesn't matter. It shuts off your opponent's extra deck. Keep in mind it has to be summoned on the opponent's turn to do that, which is fine because that's what you want. 2200 attack, level 5. Basically gives the whole deck an out to freaking Ophion. Enough said. The name changes. Artifact Moralith. Artifact Moraltech. That's how I'm going to say it. That's how it's going to be. I used to call him, and I still will, the blue guy. It's easy to refer to him as Power Ranger colors or anime, like characters because it just looks funny. So, we're going to call him Blue Sword Guy. But anyway, basically, Blue Sword Guy, someone's going to hate me for that. If it's special during the opponent's turn, you can destroy one face-up card your opponent controls, and that's why it controls, and that's why it's so good. If I'm not mistaken, this may be common or ultra. Let's see what it actually is before I give you wrong information. Rarity unknown. Okay, so we'll keep you updated on that. And then we have Artifact Red Guy. Sorry, I have to do it that way because you try pronouncing that, it's going to take forever. And I don't want to waste time. Basically, when this guy's destroyed, you can target 2 set cards you control, minimum 1, and then destroy them. Which sounds bad, but for artifacts, they love this card. I believe this is a common, so if you kind of look at both images, I believe they would both be common. But if they are, oh my boy. So, I think he's ultra though, the blue one. This is, I call her Asuna because it does look like Asuna from Sword Art Online, but that shield's too powerful. When this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, artifact monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects into the end phase. So that's pretty nifty thing there with the 2500 defense. And then this one is pretty much like Asuna over there, the purple one. It's pretty much like Asuna, where basically it says, you cannot attack my artifacts. And it's just like, great! This one here, orange, I'm just going to keep saying this one, sorry. Basically, you can only control one of them, but that's fine enough. Every time an artifact is special to your side of the field, you draw a card. So, definitely powerful stuff there. This is the Sylvan level 7 tree. I was about to call it rank 7 tree. This will be used across all Sylvan's builds without question because of the fact that, well, you want them 7s. You want to go the Dragosack. You want to go that new Sylvan Exceed, which I thought that was a Sylvan Exceed, but it wasn't. Can't remember it, but that's okay. So let's go over the effect real quick for this guy. When a silver monster is sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step. So there's lots of ways for that. You can special this card from your hand once per turn. You can look at the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant monster, send to the graveyard. Otherwise, place at the bottom of your deck. If this card is basically sent from the deck to the graveyard, but not Lightsworn sent, the Pod Duality sent, then you can target one Sylvan spell trap in your graveyard, add a target to your hand. Basically, you just want to constantly special summon this guy and go for rank 7s and level 8 synchros. So, very, very good card for Sylvans. This is Ghostrick Doll. This is a great Ghostrick card for the Ghostricks. Cannot be normal summon. You just said it. Unless you control a Ghostrick monster. Once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. When this card is flipped face up. During this turn's end phase, change all face-up monsters on the field to face down. Remember that trap card early in the video? Yeah. That's why it's also pretty busted. Then you can special summon one Ghostrick monster from your deck in face-down defense position whose level is equal to or less than the total number of monsters changed to face-down defense position. Oh, Ghostricks. Oh, Ghostricks. Now, for those of you who don't think they're a good deck, with their new Exceed, they basically have a whole entire lock, and I'll bring you a video on that shortly. This is Traptrix Wolfbark. That's what I call it. Because you could target one Traptrick monster in your graveyard and special it in defense mode, and then basically make an Exceed off it. But when this card is special, you can target one whole normal trap card in your graveyard, set that target, banish it during the end phase of your next turn. You can only use the effect of Traptrix Diona once per turn. That's what I'm going to call it. That's how I say it. But it's pretty much the deck's version of Wolfbark, meaning Traptrix get new supports. And it's a great one at that. Ain't you jelly about Angeli? Sorry. I couldn't resist. When this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, either by battle or card effect, sent to the graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck. You contribute this card, special one Dolce monster from your deck, but shuffle it into the deck during the end phase of your next turn. You can only use the effect of Dolce Angeli once per turn. That special monster cannot be destroyed by battle. This breaks Madolches, this breaks Madolches, this breaks Madolches. It will probably be up there 30 to 50 on price, so it is an amazing card from the set. So if you're playing Madolche, you already know. If you don't play Madolche and you're just buying the set to make profit, there. Moving on. Here is the biggest Gladiator piece to date when it comes to the main deck. That is worth running. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you can special one Gladiator Beast monster from your hand in face-up defense position. Oh no, I did draw two of them. Once you get a swap going and you summon the third one that you should be main decking, you could special one of the dead ones in your hand. When that one's special, you could special the next one. Oh my god, Gladiator Beast can go rank 8. Now, you do give up a little bit of a hand advantage to do that, but that's okay because of the power that you get from Felgrand. And the Darius plays. And the other 20 rank 8s you can run. Okay, now that that's said, he also can swap. At the end of battle phase, if this card was attacked, or is attacked, you can shuffle this card into the deck, special one Gladiator Beast monster, except Angus. That's what I like calling him. I like calling him Angus, but it's Augustus. I cannot pronunciate that. I haven't worked on it, so I'm not really going to say it right now until I do the Gladiator Beast video with Greg, because he'll be the one playing this. Not sound that way. But it is a dark, so it also carries the Eradicator virus and the Deck Devastation virus. So that's a thing that Gladiator Beast can do now, is basically rip your hand. And you're probably going, but Rita, that doesn't sound all that consistent. Any Gladiator Beast can swap into him and just do it. Oh, spellbooks for trouble? Nah. Nope. Oh, you got two dead ones in hand. Swap for the third. Summon the other two. Go into Felgrand, set virus, and rip your opponent's hand apart. It's legit. I love it, and it should be ran at 3 in Gladiator Beast builds without question. You can't be afraid of dead drawing it. That's the only thing. Dawn Knight. Oh my god, I love Dawn Knights. If you're playing Lightsworn or any Lightsworn variant, you should be playing this card without question. This is mandatory. Not unlike Curry Bandit, you can get away with, not running it. This card, no. This card definitely should be running. This pretty much makes it's so dumb. I love it. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one light monster from your deck to the graveyard. I send Wolf, I send Felice, I summon everything that I want to send, and then I special more crap than I can count. Oh, how dare we? How dare we not mention that you can send Eclipse Wyvern and benefit off Eclipse if you're playing the Dragon Ruler build. Oh, I got chills just thinking about it. If this card is sent from your deck to the graveyard, you just mill it, you foolish burial it, you target one light monster in your graveyard and place that target to the top of your deck. Oh, I like my JD! The only downside to Dawn Knight is you can only activate one of them per turn, and only once that turn. But guess what? That's fine. That's fine dandy. He's a great card, should be ran at 3 across all Lightsworn builds. And if you pull him, you hold on to him. Because, I'm telling you, even if Lightsworn's to be demolished by Konami, by the ban list, however you want to say that, Just saying. This card still has a lot of use across other light decks. Keyword, across other light decks. I send the Light Stone to the graveyard and I plus off it. I stack the Maiden to the top of the deck. Yes, this is actually an okay, option for Blue Eyes. But it goes further than just Blue Eyes. Because galaxies are a thing. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and, put like three of these in your Galaxy deck. I'm just saying that we haven't seen the full abuse of it yet. We're just starting to. Haven't seen everything yet. This whole set is going to be that way. Majestic Sphene. This is the one I talked about a little bit earlier in the video. Cannot be special summoned. Neither player can activate monster effects. Monarchs now have their version of dealing with artifacts. Great option. Great side deck card at dealing with artifacts. Don't know the rarity yet, so can't really help you there. And number 62, Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. Why is it good? You see that 4,000 attack? You see that 4,000 attack? If this card attacks or is attacked during the damage calculation of either player's turn, you can detach one Exceed from this card. Once per battle, this card gains attack equal to the combined ranks of all Exceed monsters currently on the field by 200 during the damage calculation only. Play this in Dark Worlds. Please. Play this in Dark Worlds. It is a 4,000 beat stick that can help you win the game faster. Remember why they were on the top 5 rogue list? This is why. Because 4,000 beat stick under skill drain, doesn't matter you don't get the effect, that's huge. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by the opponent's card effect while it has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, as Exceed material, you can special summon this card from during your second standby phase after activation and double its attack. Any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is halved unless it has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as Exceed material. I'm not sure if that's a condition, but if it's not, then skill drain. Skill drain. Otherwise, it still has 4,000 attack, and in Dark Worlds, that's hilarious. Because you don't really care about the damage, this is your field cleaner. It's like, I'm just going to sweep you up. Very good freaking Exceed. 4,000 attack. And once we get the rest of the Galaxy stuff, it's amazing. Without question. And I had to talk about C107 Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon because you just use a rank up card from the Dragons of Legends. Like, oh, hi, attack for 4,000. I'm going to rank up and attack for 45. Or I could just detach one Exceed until the end of the turn. I negate everything on the board. And then if also your opponent cannot activate cards or effects, if this card has a 107 Tachyon Dragon, as Exceed, then it gains this effect. You contribute 2 monsters. This card can attack up to 3 turns. It's a really good card. I don't think it's going to be played competitively, but it's still really good for right now. So, you don't like Fire Fist. 103 Racking Zero's got your back. We don't know the rarity yet. 2 level 4 monsters. Once returned during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Exceed from this card. Target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, whose attack difference is different from its original attack, and destroy it. If you do, you draw a card. Everyone likes drawing cards, but everyone likes destroying Harpies and Dark Worlds and freaking Fire Fists and drawing a card, and it's just hilarious. This card's amazing. Without question, amazing. And if it's not secret rare or at least super, I will be shocked, because you pretty much know all the ultras right now. Moving on. Artifact Durandel. God, the freaking name change. It sounds like a freaking battery. Alright. 2 level 5 monsters. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can activate one of these effects. When a monster effect is activated on the field or a normal spell trap is activated, you can detach 1 Exceed from this card. The activated effect becomes destroy 1 spell or trap your opponent controls. Now, most of the time, your opponent's monster effects are going to happen on their turn. Their spells and traps on their turn. Oh, I don't mind you destroying my back row. Guess why? I get Artifact Plus. You can detach 1 Exceed from this card. Each player with the hand shuffles their entire hand into their deck. Then each player draws the same number of cards they shuffle into the deck. So your opponent's playing Prophecy and they try doing the whole setup and you want to screw him over, shuffle everything back to the deck. Oh, your opponent's playing Dark Worlds and only has the one card. Shuffle it back into the deck. Make them draw that random card they don't want to draw. Amazing, 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 without question. Moving on. Here is the aura, the Sylvan High Arbiter. This is the one I was talking about. Once per turn, you can send one plant type monster from your hand or face up from your side of the field to the graveyard. Look at any number of cards from the top of your deck equal to the level of the sent monster. I lost my place. Monster hand in. Wait, what? Hand in the hand or on the field. I guess it must be a typo here because I'll just highlight it so you can see that. Then place them on top of the deck in any order. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceed from this card. Choose up to 1 or 3. Then look at the top cards like Pod Duality, and then send all the plants to the graveyard, and then they'll get their effects. And if you do, return up to that many cards on the field. So pretty much this is like a Brionac. And oh yeah, it's a secret rare. You play Sylvans, you play 1. It's their Tropius, their Pokemon Tropius. Google it if you don't know what Tropius is. Let me Google that for you. This was Succubus, but now it has the most horrible name. I just call it Ghostrick Boss because that's what she is. She's sleepy because she's got to be the one that destroys all the monsters, and they wake her up at 1 a.m. in the morning. 2 level 2 monsters can be used all across level 2 decks. I'm looking at you, Frog Monarchs. And if you control another Ghostrick monster, your opponent cannot target this card from an attack. Oh, if you'll have another Ghostrick when you play her, without question. Once per turn, Ojamas, they get so good with this card, without question. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceed material from this card, then target one face-up monster on the field whose attack is less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters on the field. Destroy it. And if you do, as long as you control a Ghostrick monster, to destroy monsters' monster card zone cannot be used. But really, she only has 1,400. Yeah, you're gonna summon like 2-3 of these in decks outside of Ghostricks. In Ghostricks, you're pretty much gonna have stuff to deal with that kind of little clause where you go, pretty much everything 2,800 under is dying, and then just gonna control that monster zone where they can't do nothing. Nothing. Ghostricks got really good with this card. Not tier 1 good, but they're really good. And this is, I wanted to call it Bujin, but it's got the I in K. So I'll just, by then you probably read the name. 3 level 4 monsters. You can only control one of these. Adamatsu. I can never pronounce it right. Once per turn. During either player's turn, you can detach one Exceed from this card. Apply one of these effects depending on whose turn it is. Is it your turn or mine? Oh, it's my turn? Target one of my banished level 4 monsters and special. Your turn? Target one of your banished level 4 monsters, meaning mine, and then add that target to your hand. So pretty much either on the field or the hand, and he looks like a cat. No, honestly, it's a really good Bujin because I think anyone who's ever played Bujin is going to realize that. Oh, did I mention generic? Did I mention generic? Did I? Because, like, I had activated on the opponent's turn when I play that Redox, to summon it, and that gadgets. No, it's really good Exceed, especially for gadgets. Moving on, Phantom Fortress Enter Blanir. That's kind of a little tongue twister at the end. Oh, I can make rank 9s out of my buttocks, and it has a Trishuli effect. Once per turn, you can detach one Exceed from this card and activate one of these effects. Banish one card your opponent controls. Banish one random card from your opponent's hands. Banish one card your opponent's graveyard. Banish the top card of your opponent's deck. Without question, a great card for any deck that can run rank 9. Blue Eyes. Just say. Kind of almost lost my voice there because it got a little scratchy. It got a little bit scratchy from the allergies. Anyone with allergies knows how that is. So we are just 2 cards more, and we are done with this video. Photon Pulse Dragon. I actually like this card a lot because it's a level 4 tuner, and it makes Quasar Wings a thing very easily, pretty much. I guess you could say it helps make it a thing, so you're not so dependent on. Well, it makes a lot of decks go into Quasar a lot faster. But when this card is synchro summoned, you can declare a level between 1 and 3. The level of this card becomes the declare level. And if you activate this effect, you cannot special for the rest of the turn except a synchro summon, and only by using this card as synchro material monster. You can only special one Photon Pulse Dragon per turn. No one will really be looking at this card. It's gonna be one of those hidden gems. And finally, I will make mention of Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. Because someone's going to go, where's the 7th one? To activate this card, you must draw it for your normal draw in your draw phase and reveal it, and keep it revealed until the start of main phase 1, meaning that they don't mind crush you. At the start of main phase 1, at the same turn, you can special summon from your extra deck or graveyard. One monster has a number between 101 and 107 in its name except C monsters, and then they exceed summon from your extra deck, one number C monster with the same number as its name as the first monster, Chaos 101, and then by using it as the exceed material, you can only apply the effect of Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, once per duel. I've seen a lot of games one off the 7th one, and it's pretty dumb, but I leave you to make your own decision on it. If you guys are new to the channel, only if you're new, then make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like and only liked what we saw. Well, what you saw. What I did for you. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, because this video did take a while to do and will take a while to render and upload. And it just shows that you guys care just as much as we do. Not sound that way. And if you want to, leave a comment on anything in the set or a deck request, and we will get to it. I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next video. Doodles!